I have with me the 5 novels shortlisted for the 2024 JCB Literary Prize. The winner is already announced, and I know I am a bit too late to do a video on this. And if you have noticed, the last time I posted a video was back in November 2024. So 2 months of no YouTubing, and I thought I'll get back to the scene with a video on these five English novels shortlisted for the 2024 JCB Literary Prize. The winner is announced. It's been 2 months since the declaration. It's Lorenzo Searches for Meaning of Life by Upamanyu Chatterjee, and I thought I'll make a discussion on these 5 books. Um, and I don't know if this is a very diverse selection. Two set in Kerala, one set in West Bengal, one in Maharashtra, and one Italy and Bangladesh combined. So not sure if this is a diverse set of selection made by the authors. Maybe it's a submission criterion, or maybe something else that went behind this, but which I am not aware of. Anyway, I'll start with the 2 books set in Kerala. First is Maria, just Maria. If you've seen one of my previous YouTube shorts, you would have noticed that I was picking this book, Maria, Verum Maria, from my local public library. So I read this book in its original language, Malayalam, a few months before I read this book, the translation, the English translation by Jayasri Kalathil. The Malayalam was a laugh, right? It was hilarious. It's about Maria, who was born to a Syrian Christian family in Kerala, and this is about her family's 6 generation of stories. It kind of breaks the idea of normalcy, normal behavior, madness, language, etc. And I found the Malayalam novel to be brilliant, and it was extremely humorous. However, when you come to the translation, which again I understand that a translation as an act is always limited by language and culture. A complete perfect translation is almost impossible. Uh, you can't translate it's, or at least it's very difficult to translate culture. It's very difficult to translate humor. This novel is like almost all the pages filled jam packed with a lot of humor, a lot of culturally rooted humor. So it is definitely a difficult task to translate humor. Anyway, coming back, so I found the English version to be not as good as the original Malayalam version. Again, that is something that you can't fix. It is meant to be so. So this book, in this list of 5 books, uh, definitely not the best. But had it been the Malayalam, I would have had different thoughts. But again, this is a prize for award for English novels and translations. So this is the first book, and now let's move to the second one, Chronicles of an Hour and a Half by Saharu Nusaiba Kannanari. Again, a Malayali author. I mean, who writes in English. I believe this is his first novel. I'm not sure, but anyway, this is my favorite among the 5. This is again a very short novel, around 150 pages, I think. Uh, the premise is very interesting. This is set in northern part of Kerala. Um, this is about fake news. Fake news easily disseminated through WhatsApp, social media, Facebook. So something, an illicit affair between 2 people happens, illicit within quotes definitely, happens in a village in Kerala. And this was uh, discovered by some of the villages, and then the news start to spread like wildfire. And then this takes us to another phase and dimension of um, fake news factories and mob mentality. This is a stat. This is a I mean, this is a case of uh, study of mob violence or mob mentality. The mob likes to take up fake news. You just look around, you get plenty of examples. The mob likes to uh, take up fake news. Now this is such a case. And then finally, the novel takes us to more violence, lynching, public humiliation, etc. Again, you have to understand that all of these takes place in a country where jurisprudence exists. This cover is absolutely lovely. This reminds me of some Japanese illustrations. The cover is particularly interesting. It takes us to the uh, next novel in this list, The One-Legged by Satyajit Bhattacharya, translated from Bengali to English by Rituparna Mukherjee. Again, this was originally written in Bengali, a language that I can't read. So I strongly believe that the original would be much better than the translation. Again, no offense to translation or the translator. This is about the act of translation, which is a very uh, I mean, I sometimes feel translators are underappreciated because they take a huge task of carrying a culture from one language to the other. So sometimes it wouldn't be successful. But again, I can't measure the success of this translation because I'm not familiar with Bengali. Coming back, this is about again set in a village. A child understanding certain something that happens in a village. Children go missing, and the whole village, or at least the child, strongly believes that this is a one-legged man who's like a local legend or local myth, an unlegged man who lives all the way up in on top of the palm trees, and he believes that it is this one-legged man who is behind the missing children. And the novel travels through a lot of local stories, myths, storytelling, etc. So I mean, I I personally found this to be the weakest book among the selection, but anyway, uh, yeah, so let's move to the fourth book in the list. It's Sanathan by Sharan Kumar Limpale, which I believed would win the prize. This is a fantastic case of historiography, Dalit historiography. This novel travels through a few generations of uh, Dalits in Maharashtra. If you've read Sharan Kumar Limbali's Akramashi, you would be familiar with the author and his writing style. Anyway, this novel is a case of historiography. What is historiography? It's like the act of writing history. You have let's say you have a colonial history, and then you have a subaltern history in opposition to that, maybe. Then you have a nationalist history, then you have maybe a communist history. So, historiography. So, this is like a case of Dalit historiography in novels where Limbale tried to build literature or try to, build fiction around real events. So I like this book. I loved this book. Well, I don't know if it is a best in the selection in the short list, but anyway, this book I'm sure would be uh, should be read around because this is such an important book as a novel, as an academic work. Even I would say this is very important. Now to the last book, the winner, Lorenzo Searches for Meaning of Life by Upamanyu Chatterjee. Uh, Maybe the most senior novelist, or maybe the most seasoned novelist among in the list, Upamanyu Chatterjee. Now, well, I personally believe that this novel won the prize purely for its literary merits. What is the purpose of a novel? This is one, classic question. What is the purpose of literature or novel? Is it to entertain, or to educate, or to convey a message, or to politicize something, or to historicize something? You have everything, all of these in this selection. And this novel, I found this as a case of absolute joy of reading. This was a wonderful read in the sense that I loved the process of reading this book. It took me a lot of time. It took me almost 3 weeks. I was shuttling between this book and other books. But every time I come back to this book, I found if I it's like I rediscovered the joy of reading. Every line is fantastic. Uh, this is about Lorenzo, an Italian man who went on to become a priest. At the age of, if I'm not wrong, at the age of 19 or 2021, Lorenzo decided to become a priest. Benedictine priest, and this is about his spiritual journey. Um, Spirituality doesn't come as a single package. You discover it as you navigate through your life or as you age. At different genders, at different points in his life, he discovers different realms and dimensions of spirituality. Uh, it initially begins. I also appreciate and wonder how Vamenu Chatterjee did the research to write this book, because every minute description, you have to do your research. The monastery, the architecture of the monastery, that was something that I was completely blown away. I mean, such huge research that he has done to understand the architecture of Italian monasteries, the way of life, the food, the eating habits, the praying habits, the interactions between the Benedictine monks. So he becomes a monk at a very young age, and then at a different point in his life, he understood that um, Italy is not his place, and he has to go to another place. I mean, he has traveled to Bangladesh, where the concerns of people, the livelihood, entirely different. At Bangladesh, he has different revelations, and he discovers a um, new phase of spirituality. So I absolutely loved this book, and I strongly believe that this was the novel, again, novel as a case of wonderful writing. This deserves to be the winner, no doubt about that. Which is my favorite novel in this list? This one, Chronicles of an Hour and a Half by Saharu. So these five books, if you would want to familiarize yourself with recent Indian English literature or Indian literature in general, then maybe picking these five books would help. So that's it. See you in another video hopefully soon. Bye bye.